Hello and welcome to the viewers of this video. This is the Orange Fan here, bringing you another entry for the episode Recap and Thoughts category. This video will be dedicated to the FUNimation dub of episode 104 of Dragonball Super. We begin this episode with Hit and Dispo staring at each other. Dispo reveals that he's already familiar with Universe 6's legendary assassin. He proceeds to introduce himself, and he says that he can beat Hit's time skip ability. Caulifla and Kale are watching the conversation from a distance, and although they are resting to restore their energy right now, Kale still wonders if they should help Hit out. But Caulifla is confident that Hit will easily claim victory in this upcoming battle. So the fight begins, and Dispo successfully attacks Hit before Hit can use his time skip ability, and this surprises Caulifla, Kale, Champa, and the Omnikings. Vados calmly comments about how this was unexpected. While he's ranting, Champa brings up how Dispo looks like Beerus, and this leads to Vados pointing out that this would also mean that Dispo looks like Champa, since Champa and Beerus are twin brothers. But Champa insists that there are significant differences between himself compared to... Champa insists that there are significant differences when comparing himself to Beerus and Dispo. Champa says something along the lines about how he has a robust face, while Beerus and Dispo have high cheekbones. Speaking of Beerus, he and Shin are also surprised about how Dispo landed a successful attack on Hit. Dispo congratulates Hit for not losing his composure after one attack, but he also admits that Hit's confidence angers him. Champa is continuing to panic. He says that the fight is happening so fast that he can't keep up with it, but Vados admits that she can follow the fight just fine. Vermod, K, and Universe 11's angel assistant notice Champa's panicking, and they figure out that Hit is the Universe 6 team's most valuable fighter and the emotional pillar of the Universe 6 team. So the divine beings of Universe 11 come to the conclusion that the Universe 6 team will easily fall apart once Hit has been eliminated from the Tournament of Power. The Omnikings are complaining about how the fight is happening so fast that they can't keep up with it, so the Grand Minister updates the God Pads to include a function that allows fights to be watched in slow motion instant replay. The Omnikings are very happy with the Grand Minister's solution. Hit is talking to himself, and he comments to himself about how it's like Dispo is using the time skip ability on him. And we also see that Top, Jiren, and a third Pride Trooper are watching the fight from a distance. This third Pride Trooper is a short blue alien with pointy ears, and Top brings up about how Dispo is the Pride Trooper's captain of quickness, or he says something along those lines at least. Back with Hit, Hit is thinking things over, and he realizes that Dispo is using super speed right before Hit can use his time skip ability. And Dispo congratulates Hit for figuring this out, but he also adds that he's capable of increasing his speed thousands of times in an instant. Dispo also suspects that Hit is wondering how Dispo knows when to time his attacks to just before Hit can perform a time skip ability. And then he proceeds to attack Hit yet again when Hit tries to use the time skip ability. This leads to Hit realizing that Dispo is listening for the sound of Hit's muscles flexing. Hit comments about how his muscles flex just before he uses the time skip ability, and this is the sound that Dispo is listening for. Dispo congratulates Hit for figuring his strategy out, but he also comments that Hit being aware of Dispo's strategy isn't going to do him any good. There's nothing Hit can do about it. So, hearing this, Champa thinks that maybe they can counter this by making a lot of noise around Hit and Dispo. But Vados points out that Vados points out that it's very likely that Dispo is able to distinguish the frequency of different sounds. So, this plan of Champa's isn't really going to do much good. So back with Hit, Hit says that even if Dispo knows how to counter his time skip ability, he still won't lose to Dispo. But Dispo responds by saying that Hit is making tough talk, but can Hit back up this tough talk of his? And then they continue to fight. The blue alien Pride Trooper with Top and Jiren, voiced by Chris Long, thinks that Dispo is certain to win against Hit. But Top notices that Hit is adapting to Dispo's speed, and Hit is avoiding any critical attacks. While Dispo is successful in attacking Hit, Dispo isn't landing any critical attacks against Hit, or Hit is able to avoid Hit is able to avoid receiving any critical attacks. And eventually Top realizes that Hit is trying to lure Dispo into a trap. So the blue alien Pride Trooper, whose name is revealed to be Kinsey, plans to go help Dispo out. So eventually Hit is eventually pushed towards the edge of the arena by Dispo, and Dispo charges towards Hit to knock Hit off the arena. But Hit manages to phase through Dispo to avoid the attack, and Dispo is starting to fall off the arena. But Kinsey uses energy ropes to catch Dispo and pull him back onto the arena before he actually is transported to the spectator seats. Top figures out that Hit avoided the attack by crossing dimensions, or that's along the lines of what Top said. And Top admits that Hit has proven himself to be an exceptional fighter. Champa accuses Kinsey of cheating for using the energy ropes, but Vados points out that the energy ropes are energy. Vados points out that the energy ropes are not weapons, but Kinsey's actual energy, so it is allowed, or the energy ropes are allowed for the tournament. Dispo realizes that Hit was trying to trick Dispo realizes that Hit was trying to trick him, Dispo, into falling off the arena, and he does thank Kinsey for helping him out. Kinsey says that he's going to join the fight to make sure that Dispo will Kinsey says he's going to join the fight to ensure that Dispo will still participate in the Tournament of Power. Kinsey and Dispo work together to fight Hit now. Kinsey uses his energy ropes to trap Hit so that Dispo can rapidly attack Hit. And Caulifla is preparing to join the fight in order to help Hit out, even though Kale points out that Caulifla hasn't fully restored her energy just yet. But Caulifla doesn't actually get to join the fight. Before Caulifla has the chance to join the fight, she stopped when she sees someone charging towards the fight already. And we find out that this individual is none other than Goku, and he's in his Super Saiyan God form. Hit insists that he doesn't need Goku's help, but Goku responds that he's just here because Goku insists that he's only here because seeing Dispo and Kinsey team up against Hit gave Goku a sudden urge to fight, or Goku had a sudden urge to join the fight after seeing Dispo and Kinsey team up against Hit, and so Goku suggests that they just team up against Hit. Goku suggests that he and Hit work together against Dispo and Kinsey in order to even the playing field, or he says something along those lines anyway. And Whis brings up how Super Saiyan God is faster than Super Saiyan 1, 2, or 3, but it also drains less stamina when compared to Super Saiyan Blue. Beerus tells Champa that the Universe 6 Destroyer should be grateful that Goku saved Hit just now, but Champa insists that he doesn't need any charity, but we do see Champa sign in relief. Vermont is impressed about how a pair of twin universes are working together now, and Kay thinks that this is a golden opportunity for them to eliminate the most valuable fighter of Universe 6 and the most valuable fighter of Universe 7. Hit tells Goku that he wants to fight Dispo himself, but Goku comments about how Hit is welcomed to try and stop Goku, and Goku rushes off to fight Dispo. Yes, Goku wants to fight Dispo, and he rushes off to fight Dispo despite Hit insisting that Dispo is his opponent. So Hit tries to fight Dispo, even though Goku is already fighting Dispo, but he's interrupted by Kinsey, so Hit has his hands full fighting Kinsey now. So while Goku is fighting Dispo, he quickly finds out that Dispo's speed means that he won't have enough time to use the instant transmission technique. And though when Dispo is about to attack Goku, Goku manages to power up and Goku transforms into Super Saiyan Blue and he almost lands an attack on Dispo, and Dispo is surprised by this. Goku responds that even though Dispo has amazing speed, his movements are really predictable, and Goku changes back to Super Saiyan God after that attack didn't land. And this leads to Beerus and Whis realizing that Goku is trying to maximize his strength and speed by switching to Super Saiyan Blue for attacks, but quickly returning to Super Saiyan God form after he attempts an attack. So while Goku is fighting Dispo, Hit notices that Kinsey has left several energy ropes around him, and Hit realizes that these energy ropes will explode if anyone touches them. Kinsey congratulates Hit for figuring this out, and Kinsey also brings up how this is a great defense because he says Hit may have the time skip ability, but it's not going to do him any good if he can't get anywhere near Kinsey. And what's Hit's response to this, you may be wondering? Well, Hit launches a transparent energy blast towards Kinsey, and because Hit didn't actually, Hit just launched the transparent energy attack like this, so Hit didn't actually get anywhere near the energy ropes, so the energy ropes didn't explode. And Universe 11's Angel Assistant figures this out. Universe 11's Angel Assistant figures out that Hit was using a transparent energy blast that only affects physical bodies, and she explains this to Vermod. And Vados recognizes this transparent energy attack. She recognizes this to be the attack that Hit used to stop Goku's heart, although of course Hit had to tone down the attack when he used it against Kinsey, because Hit's not allowed to use his lethal attacks in the Tournament of Power. So eventually, Goku and Dispo's fight takes them back near Hit and Kinsey, and Hit says that he wants to trade opponents with Goku. So Hit proceeds to charge towards Dispo, Hit and Dispo are charging towards each other, and Hit actually manages to land an attack on Dispo. Hit reveals that he lured Dispo into a trap by flexing his muscles the same way he would if he were to perform the time skip ability. So he didn't perform the time skip ability, he did a fake out in order to trick Dispo, in other words. Goku praises Hit's strategy, and then he transforms to Super Saiyan Blue, and he proceeds to just charge through Kinsey's energy ropes, even though Hit tries to warn Goku about the explosions. But yes, while the energy ropes do explode, Goku is not harmed by the exploding energy ropes, and he does land a successful attack on Kinsey. Back with Hit, Hit continues to confuse Dispo by switching between actually using the time skip ability and pretending to use the time skip ability. So yes, he's confusing Dispo by flexing his muscles, but not being consistent about whether he uses the time skip ability or not. And because of this strategy, Hit is able to beat up Dispo quite a bit. And it gets to the point where Hit wears out Dispo enough where Dispo can't really fight back, so Hit prepares to throw Dispo off the arena. Hit throws Dispo, intending to throw him off the arena, but once again, Kinsey uses his energy ropes in order to save Dispo. Kinsey then tells Dispo to retreat, and strike back when the time is right. Kinsey intends to eliminate Hit from the Tournament of Power, even if it means he has to go down with Hit. But Hit manages to attack Kinsey before Kinsey can really set his plan into motion, so only Kinsey is eliminated from the tournament now. Vermod realizes that there's only 3 members of the Pride Troopers, or the Universe 11 team, left participating in the Tournament of Power. But Kay assures Vermod that they have nothing to worry about because 2 of the remaining fighters on their universe's team are Top and Jiren. So the Grand Minister declares Kinsey has been eliminated from the Tournament of Power, and the Omnikings use their God Pads to go to the Universe 11 team screen, and they tap on Kinsey's image to indicate that he's been eliminated from the tournament now. Dispo has regrouped with Top and Jiren, and Dispo starts to give a justice speech about how he'll get even with them for eliminating Kinsey, but Top interrupts Dispo's speech and says that they can't really play the hero anymore. Or yes, Top says something along the lines about how they can't continue to play the hero during the Tournament of Power. He comments along the lines about how during the tournament there's only survival or being erased from existence. Back with Goku and Hit, Goku compliments Hit for improving more since the last time they've crossed paths. Or yes, Goku compliments Hit for his improvements since they last crossed paths. But Goku is very adamant about being the one to defeat Dispo. Goku also wonders if now they'll fight each other, but Hit says that he'll let Goku go for now. He says that this is his thanks to Goku for helping him. So Goku and Hit agree that they'll fight each other if they both make it to the end of the tournament. Yes, Goku and Hit agree that if they both make it to the end of the tournament, they'll have their rematch, and then they walk off to find different opponents to fight. The narrator comments that there are 35 minutes left in the Tournament of Power, and that is how we end this episode. So this is another episode where we get to see a fight between characters, or yes, a fight that involves characters from Universe 6, Universe 7, and Universe 11. This happened in episode 101. Yes, episode 101 had a fight that involved characters from Universe 6, Universe 7, and Universe 11. So we get another fight with characters from those universes in this episode, and they were really the main focus. Yes, though the characters fighting, or characters from those universes, were the main focus for this particular episode, while the actual fighting was with Goku, Hit, Dispo, and Kinsey. Those were the fighters that actually fought each other in this episode. So this was a bit more on the slower side, ironically enough, yes. This episode was on the slower side, despite being an episode that featured a fight about speed. But yeah, that's pretty amusing. But yeah, I thought it was okay. I didn't mind the slower pace. That's what I'm saying. I didn't mind the slower pace because we did get to see a little bit more of we got to see more of Hit and Dispo, and we did get to see Kinsey in action too before he was eliminated from the Tournament of Power. And while I'm on the topic of Dispo's speed, I brought up before, yes, in some previous recap and thoughts videos, I brought up about how some fans have commented about how Hit's time skip ability kind of reminded them of Goldo's time freeze ability, except in the hands of a more competent fighter. And some fans have noticed how Dispo's supposed to be the fastest of Universe 11, or at the very least, Dispo would be the fastest Pride Trooper, if not the fastest mortal of Universe 11, or one of the fastest members. It's kind of similar to Birder, or yes, I've seen some fans compare Dispo to Birder, because Birder would constantly brag about being the fastest of Universe 7. I mean, obviously that didn't stick. Or yes, maybe that was true at one point in time, but Birder eventually was outclassed. But when Birder was introduced, he constantly bragged about his speed, or speed was Birder's that was his main strength, I guess you could say. That's the thing with Dispo. So even if Dispo might not necessarily be the fastest mortal in Universe 11, speed is definitely Dispo's strong characteristic, or his strongest element. Or yes, at the very least, Dispo's greatest strength is his speed, similar to Birder. So some fans have noted that one could think of Hit versus Dispo being like maybe the way how some fans have noted that you could think of Hit versus Dispo to be something along the lines about how a Goldo versus Birder fight might have gone down. And yeah, I could see those similarities. I can see the similarities with Hit's ability and Goldo's ability. And yeah, strength or speed is the greatest strength for Birder and Dispo. So I could see that analogy, or I could see why some fans would compare Hit versus Dispo to a hypothetical Goldo versus Birder. And yes, Goku, and actually this was pretty interesting. From what I remember, from watching the episode, I realized Goku is actually the only fighter from the 7th Universe team who's still participating in the tournament that actually appeared in this episode. I'm not counting the recap for the previous episode, which did show scenes with Gohan and Piccolo in them. So not counting that recap and not counting the characters in the spectator seats. So Universe 7's Divine Beings and Krillin, not counting the recap of the previous episode and not counting the Universe 7 characters in the spectator seats. Goku was actually the only fighter from the 7th Universe team that's still participating in the tournament that actually appeared in this episode. So I thought it was pretty interesting how most of the characters in this episode were actually characters from other universes. I thought that was interesting considering how, of course, we're very familiar with the Universe 7 characters. So having very few Universe 7 characters appear in comparison to characters from other universes was a pretty interesting detail, I felt. I thought that was pretty interesting how this episode mostly focused on characters that weren't from Universe 7, with Goku being the only Universe 7 character that actually fought during this episode. And speaking of Goku, this episode stood out for bringing back the Super Saiyan God form, or the red one, the red form. This was the last time the Super Saiyan God form appeared, at least in the anime, was during the Beerus saga. I mentioned the anime because in the manga, or the manga if you prefer, Super Saiyan God appeared more often. In fact, the manga also had that strategy where a character would be in Super Saiyan God form and then switch into Super Saiyan Blue form to land attacks, and then switch back to Super Saiyan God form in order to preserve more stamina, or to save more stamina. So I thought that was pretty interesting how they included that detail. It was pretty cool that they brought the Super Saiyan God form back in the anime, because like I said, the anime didn't really use the Super Saiyan God form too often when compared to the manga. And I should bring this up now, but Vegeta was shown to use the Super Saiyan God form in the manga. So far, he hasn't used the Super Saiyan God form in the anime at this point in time. I thought that was, but I did think that was interesting how they utilized that strategy that was also featured in the manga version of, the manga featured that Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Blue switching strategy, and I thought that was pretty cool they included that for the anime. And otherwise, I did think it was pretty cool how Goku and Hit were working together. It does show how Goku and Hit really do consider each other to be worthy opponents, but they also are willing to work together. They have a mutual respect for each other, and you could say it was really nice of Hit to not attack Goku after they beat Kinsey, because Hit wanted to thank Goku for his help, even though Hit insisted earlier he didn't need Goku's help. It was pretty nice to see that Hit did appreciate Goku's help and was willing to say, no, we're not going to fight right now. I mean, you just helped me out, so we'll wait to fight until we both reach the end of the tournament. So I thought that was a pretty nice moment. It shows the mutual respect that Goku and Hit have towards each other and their abilities. And yes, Kinsey has been eliminated from the Tournament of Power now, so that means, only 3 fighters from the Pride Troopers or the 11th Universe team are left in the tournament, or still participating in the tournament. And that is pretty surprising considering how the Universe 11 team was was really hyped up in the episodes building up to the Tournament of Power. Having said that, though, Top, Jiren, and Dispo are still participating, and Jiren has still been hyped up. Yes, Jiren is still Universe 11's most powerful mortal, and Top was shown to be impressive in his own right too. Top was able to tie with Goku while he was in his Super Saiyan Blue form during the Zeno Expo, and Jiren's supposed to be more powerful. So even though most of the Pride Troopers have been eliminated from the Tournament of Power, Top and Jiren are still in the game, and they've already proven that they're very powerful, so they're not going to be so easy to take down compared to their peers. And in Dispo's case, like this episode showed, speed is Dispo's greatest strength, and it was pretty hard to eliminate Dispo from the tournament. So even with Quincy eliminated, because Quincy was mainly the one helping Dispo avoid getting thrown off the arena, Dispo is still likely going to be a challenge to defeat because of his impressive speed. So yes, there's only 3 members of the Universe 11 team left, but they definitely seem to be very impressive fighters, or it's safe to say they're not going to go down so easily when compared to their teammates. So otherwise, yeah, I would say that's about it for this particular episode. So yes, even though the main fight of this episode was about speed, the episode itself was a bit on the slower side compared to other episodes for the tournament. But I was okay with that. I was okay with giving some more focus on Hit and giving us a better understanding of Dispo's character. And like I said, it was pretty cool how for the fighters still participating in the tournament, Goku was the only Universe 7 fighter still participating that actually appeared in this episode. So it was cool that we got an episode mostly focusing on other characters, but I did think Goku and Hit's team up was a pretty cool sight, and it was also nice because it shows their mutual respect towards each other. And like I said, it was cool to see Super Saiyan God return in the anime after last being seen during the Beerus saga. So otherwise, yeah, I would say that's about it for now. So as of this video, we've now discussed the Funimation dub of episode 104 of Dragon Ball Super on this channel. Take care, and until next time.